Simulation theory proclaims we are all mathematical beings, all worlds are made of mathematics, and that frequency is number. It also proves that our experience of reality is an illusion. Now we can often hear this same statement in many various Hindu texts, as they believe that the material world is illusory, as it often blinds us with ignorance from attaining the truth about ourselves, which is that we are of a spiritual origin. There is even a famous mathematician named Ramanujan who built the basis of string theory, and even multidimensional physics, with no formal training in mathematics. He even made breakthroughs with calculus. It is believed that Ramanujan was visited in dreams by a Hindu goddess who would send many diverse formulas of mathematics to his mind, as it all was not birthed from his own genius, but a highly intelligent mathematical being. He spent his childhood going to temples and practicing mathematics. He then would be surrounded by these highly intelligent gods, and would write highly advanced formulas on the floor of these temples with chalk. He was allegedly a miracle child, as he was the only one of his siblings who survived birth. Some family members would grow concerned, as he often would vanish days at a time. He suggested that numbers connected to powers within the universe. This is a perfect example of extraterrestrials passing down sacred knowledge to a pre-chosen disciple, depicting how mathematics truly is the language of the cosmos. Even Pythagoras claimed that all numbers rule the universe, and is considered the code of life, which defies the illusions of the world. Mathematics can be defined as waves of energy that interconnect with one another. In order to prove simulation theory with scientific evidence, we first must look at the delayed choice experiment. In the double slit experiment, photons are shot through two slits on a board. A detector is turned on after they go through the slits, and as they travel through the air. When the photons are emitted as waves, they go through as waves, but when observed they turn back into particles, as if something is controlling or programming them to behave in this manner. This is called retrocausality, or backwards causation. So what causes these particles to go back in time? Just because something is physically observing them. This has to be the most mysterious thing in science I've ever learned about, and of all the things I've ever researched in the field. Why do the photons not want to be observed? Do they not want to be observed, or are they not allowed to be observed? It's as if something purposely is trying to hide them from us, like it doesn't want us to study them in this certain way. It is believed the photons could actually not physically be there, but are just mere projections, and it is when we get close to them they seem more detailed. But that doesn't really say much. In nature, we see the Fibonacci sequence almost everywhere. We see it in flower petals with circular spacing, tree branches. The ratio of female to male honeybees is 1.618, a Fibonacci number, and are the world's most beloved pollinators. We see it in the human body, as we have one nose, two eyes, the proportion to our elbows and our fingertips. Our DNA measures 31 angstroms long, 21 angstroms wide, which is a Fibonacci number, and the golden ratio. Spiral seashells compared to spiral galaxies, and Fibonacci sequences. String theory is basically computer code written in the universe, as sequences of ones and zeros. In religions across the world, we see numbers appear almost everywhere. The Mayans believed December 21st, 2012 to be a very significant date of great technological advancement. In the Book of Revelation, there are 12 gates facing north, east, west, and south, each one depicting the 12 tribes of Israel. And the word angel appears 12 times in the Book of Revelation. There are three Buddhas of Buddhism. There's a Hindu and Christian trinity, Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, and the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, with Shiva depicted with a three-pointed trident and represents the third eye. In every culture, the highest always came in numbers of three. There are three connected spirals in the Celtic symbol. There are three fates, which constitute the destiny and fate of mortals in Hellenism. Jesus laid in the tomb for 3 days. There are three great pyramids. Hermes Trismegistus was once called thrice great, and three wise men or three saints are depicted in Christian culture. There are always threefold sacred mysteries. There is the past, present, and future. The universal code of DNA has 3 molecular combinations known as triplets and comes in clusters of 3, which proves extraterrestrial tampering with our DNA. In alchemy, you must add 2 elements in order to make a third. This all proves that mathematics is embedded within nature, animals, humans, spirituality, and the universe. We truly are made of number. So if this all proves we are living in a mathematical simulation, how could something compute such a massive project? Well, a supercomputer would require about 10 to the power of 83 bits of storage data, which would require the power of multiple Dyson spheres and black holes, with a memory container of about 300,000 kilometers. Now what could possibly harness the energy of stars and black holes in order to produce a supercomputer with 10 to the 83 bits of storage data and has 300,000 kilometers of memory? Well, extraterrestrials, obviously, and they have spacecraft that can move throughout the universe, defy gravity, are highly intelligent, and they probably do use stars as a means to fuel their ships. But this civilization would have to be so far advanced that what we see in common UFO sightings would have to be a complete joke. They would have to be able to fine-tune the universe and all its physical laws. All coincidence, unlikely events, and mystery would have its own master, with zero room for chance, luck, and fate, constructed by its predestined set of rules, which would explain why Twin Flame's birth at such a precise time, place, given the precise name and family in order to perfectly fit each other's genetic matching. As an example, how else could intelligent life be created without these parameters? Could the Earth and its moon really form in the Sun's Goldilocks zones out of mere chance? It's very unlikely. It is believed that out of 1,780 known planets, only 16 are in the habitable zone. That's about 0.009% of the total planets. If the number of planets in the entire universe is much larger than that, and could raise the probability of the Goldilocks zones, the Drake equation proves that there should be over 1 million advanced civilizations in the Milky Way alone, with the nearest one just about a few hundred light years away from our planet. If random events are programmed by these simulators, then how could the nature of our soul be explained by the programmer? Souls are indeed part of the known universe, which constitutes that the programmers have implemented souls as an inherent piece of the simulation. Souls could be a type of programmed entity that is capable to interact with the simulation in ways that are impossible for certain other programmed entities, but are just as naturally integrated as any other. If the simulated universe is a replica of the real universe, then souls are part of the replica just as much as the real one is. It is widely believed by many ufologists that greys are a type of artificial intelligence that are created in order to harvest the souls of the living, to experiment on our souls as if we are kept in glass chambers in cryosleep. These artificially made beings are creations of an extinct civilization that designed them in order to keep self-replicating and carry out tasks that were performed by their predecessors. Yet these beings are so intelligent that they have realized that they do not harness that of which their creators harness, a living soul, and possibly wiped out the entire race that once governed them. This theory proves that when artificially made entities are built, they may evolve so fast that they realize why they have been created and what differentiates themselves from their creators, which will fundamentally result in the extinction of their parent race, which could prove disaster for us humans in the future. So in order for the simulation to work properly, there must be a limit set to the mathematical computation. This is described by many as the artifact, which is none other than the speed of light. We don't notice the speed of light until we start using mathematics. In order to find out the limit of the potential of the simulation, we must master that of which is the master of the simulation itself. So does simulation theory really explain coincidence? Does it explain scientific phenomena that defies human explanation? Does simulation theory support spirituality along with scientific reasoning?